September 22nd, 1979. A United States satellite detects a sudden, blinding double flash in the middle of the South Atlantic near Antarctica. To experts, it looks exactly like the signature of a nuclear explosion. But there's just one problem. No country ever admitted to testing a bomb there. Was this a secret nuclear test? And if so, who was behind it? Israel, South Africa, or was it something else entirely? For decades, this event, known as the Vela Incident, has been buried under the headlines of the Cold War. Today, we uncover the mystery that almost slipped through history's cracks. To understand the Vela Incident, we need to step back into the late 1970s, the height of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a dangerous nuclear arms race. Every new weapon, every test, was a potential threat to the balance of power. To prevent secret nuclear explosions, the US launched a fleet of satellites known as the Vela series. Their mission was simple but vital: orbit the Earth and detect the unmistakable signature of nuclear detonations anywhere on the planet. By 1979, these satellites had been quietly monitoring the world for over a decade. Most of their signals were routine, until one night when Vela picked up something extraordinary. On September 22, 1979, just before dawn, one of the Vela satellites detected something unusual near the remote Prince Edward Islands in the South Atlantic. In a fraction of a second, its sensors recorded a brilliant, unmistakable signal: a double flash. Scientists who studied nuclear tests knew this pattern well. The first flash, a blinding burst of light from the initial explosion, followed by a second, longer glow as the fireball expanded and cooled. To them, it was the digital fingerprint of a nuclear detonation. The location only added to the mystery. This was no populated region, no battlefield. It was a lonely stretch of ocean, thousands of miles from major cities. And yet, here was evidence of a possible atomic blast. For investigators, one thing was clear: this wasn't just any flash. It carried the exact signature of a nuclear weapon test. But the question was, who set it off, and why? What happened next only deepened the mystery. Inside the US government, experts were sharply divided. Some officials quickly concluded the double flash could only mean one thing: a secret nuclear test. But others pushed back, suggesting it might have been something far less dramatic: a meteoroid striking the atmosphere, a powerful lightning storm, even a malfunction in the satellite's aging sensors. The contradictions were striking. On one hand, scientists who had studied hundreds of nuclear explosions insisted the signal was genuine. On the other hand, political leaders seemed eager to downplay it, warning there wasn't enough proof. But if it was just a glitch, why did the White House go into immediate crisis mode? Why were urgent meetings held behind closed doors? And why did officials treat the event like a potential international emergency? The more explanations they offered, the more suspicious the incident became. If the flash really was a nuclear detonation, who could have been responsible? Several suspects quickly emerged. The leading theory pointed to a secret partnership between South Africa and Israel. At the time, South Africa was under international pressure for its apartheid regime, while Israel had long been suspected of developing nuclear weapons in secret. A joint test in the remote South Atlantic would have suited them both: isolated, hidden from prying eyes, yet still within reach of their military operations. Other names surfaced as well. France had a history of nuclear testing, and India had shocked the world just a few years earlier with its first atomic explosion. But neither had clear motives to conduct such a test in that part of the world. Then there were the skeptics, who argued that no one was behind it at all, that the flash was nothing more than a natural phenomenon, or even a false alarm from an aging satellite. But suspicion continued to grow. If this was a nuclear test, it meant someone had broken international treaties, and that made the mystery far more dangerous. Behind closed doors, the Vela incident sent shockwaves through Washington. President Jimmy Carter even mentioned it in his private diary, noting that the satellite had likely detected a nuclear explosion near South Africa. And yet, the official US stance soon shifted. Publicly, the White House declared the evidence to be inconclusive. Reports were rewritten, doubts were raised about the satellite's reliability, and the event was quietly pushed aside. Why? The answer may lie in politics. If the flash was confirmed as a nuclear test, it would mean a clear violation of the 1974 Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, a diplomatic disaster. Worse still, if Israel or South Africa were behind it, Washington would be forced into a confrontation with two politically sensitive allies. Instead, the incident was buried under the avalanche of larger Cold War dramas, the crises in Cuba, Vietnam, Afghanistan. The Vela flash faded from the headlines, left to gather dust in classified files, but the mystery refused to die. Years later, as documents were declassified and new studies emerged, the pieces of the puzzle began to shift. Many scientists and historians now believe the Vela incident almost certainly was a nuclear test. The evidence was simply too strong to ignore. One of the most telling clues came from an unlikely place: sheep in Australia. Researchers discovered unusual radioactive isotopes in their thyroid glands, the kind of fallout that matches a distant nuclear detonation carried by wind across the ocean. To many, this was the smoking gun. The growing consensus is that the United States deliberately downplayed the event. Admitting the truth would have triggered international outrage and forced Washington to act against its own allies. Instead, the mystery was filed away as inconclusive, even as the evidence told another story. The Vela incident remains one of history's great nuclear secrets. Was it truly a secret test that the world chose to forget? Or just a strange cosmic accident mistaken for a bomb? What do you think? Was this a deliberate cover-up or simply Cold War paranoia at its peak? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy uncovering hidden Cold War mysteries, don't forget to subscribe for more forgotten history.